Now let's put back. Down.
Advance is lying to you.
Refrain. Let's music off.
Friends and neighbours, and have confidence that the team will keep you safe.
But now you start to see
Graphics, as you can
the
see,
people
there's
never
no
happy. It's never enough.
options for
I cannot believe you, Ellen.
window mode. And
Are you saying that Advance have cured
oh,
death?
hang on.
Jog off.
Alt enter finally worked.
We're still vassal slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
Oh, Megan. We're only getting started.
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Dawes. Our main headlines tonight.
Starting!
Every single one of you's a bit Jesus.
Is a little bit loud for me.
What a wild ride this has been.
And control.
Well, that's a
was
very blunt
1, 2,
question.
3, 4. Place
Advance is lying to you.
answer.
Friends and neighbours, and have confidence that the team will keep you safe.
That's the advert. On effects.
But now you start to see the people never happy. It's never enough.
I cannot believe you, Ellen.
Okay. So
Are you saying that Advance have cured death?
what
Jog off.
documentary? It is in early access.
We're still vassal slaves, we're just in
let's-
prettier cages.
Oh, give me a second. I need
Oh,
to
Megan. We're only
Change the
getting
name.
started.
of the game.
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Dawes. Our main headlines tonight.
Updated. And here
Every
we go.
single
Enter
one of you's
name.
a bit Jesus.
Can change the interference sensitivity. So, this game, from what I understand, is about censorship and government overreach, which seems accurate in 2021.
Hi David, I have a call for you. I'm just putting it through. Alright mate, Dave here. Listen, I know you've only come in to clean up the place, but I've got a bit caught up, so you're gonna have to run the news tonight. Now don't worry, it's not hard and I'm gonna stay on the phone and help you. First, I'm gonna give you a quick tour of the broadcast room, so if you're not doing it already, look forwards towards all those screens. Right, look up at the top. That coloured bar is your audience. You want to keep the viewers going up and not down. Underneath that, you've got the screens. The one on the right is the broadcast screen. That's what the viewers are seeing at home. It's only a couple of seconds behind the master screen there in the middle. That's the one you control. Now, the four small screens on the left show the different signals coming from the studio, and you can choose between them using the numbered buttons on the vision mixer at the bottom left. Don't worry, I'll talk you through it and you'll pick it up in no time. Now, have a look to your left. These plugs control everything in the studio. I've left them set up for you, so provided you haven't fiddled with them, all you have to do now is throw the master trip switch and we're in business. Once you've got the power on, face the front again. You can see on the broadcast screen that we're in the end titles for the show before us. Fortunately, they go on for fucking ages, so there's plenty of time for me to explain. Oh, right, okay, they're over, so we haven't got long now till the broadcast. Right, quickly, mate, look down under the desk. You can see a load of videotapes on the left. They're your adverts. Pick any three and load them into the machines on the right. When you've done that, look up to the front again.
Take on 4 old ladies from East Grinching.
That's followed at 8 p.m. by award-winning documentary series The Shape of Now, which tonight looks at the history.
Right, won't be long now till the signal starts coming through from the
Okay.
station. Stay
I
on
can
your toes.
use the
All big wigs
mouse.
are in tonight because of the election, so we better not make any mistakes.
With multiple award-winning movie.
Our Frank
When
for
you get the signal,
maintenance.
select screen 1 with the vision mixer and we're ready to go.
Prawn and mayonnaise?
You know, seafood makes me kind of pasta.
Yeah, I thought it might increase our viewing figures.
Every day. You offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody. Tell us your love.
You're trying to kill me.
And yet you persist.
Before
Going
we
5,
continue
4.
But now, it's time to join Jeremy Donaldson. For the
Good
National
evening.
Nightly
I'm
News.
Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight.
Okay, we're all good. Next thing is going to be the throw to the news titles on screen 2. There'll be a countdown, but I'll count you in as well. Just relax, mate. It's all gravy.
Buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent and corners the flowered market. Top
Okay,
Jam.
so
Sports
far
fans everywhere celebrate as
not
Bob
hard.
Dylan
I
Johnny
am
Harris
sure that I
wins
will
Sports
have to
Personality of the Year.
turn left, right,
And a
down.
spoonful of sugar. Megan will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Blunderclatch about his new movie, The Medicated. And, of course, we'll be going live to Advance headquarters to hear what the leaders of this
Okay.
fledgling party
I
have
need
to
to
say on
switch,
their historic.
Right, button 2 in 3, 2, 1, now. Lovely, mate. Next thing is the throwback to Jeremy with button 1 when that globe in the middle shrinks down and vanishes. Here it comes. Switch to screen 1. Now. Lovely, mate.
The votes are in, and it's a decisive win for Advance. The landslide
We usually get a bit of interference at this time of night, so keep your eye on the machine at the bottom right. All you have to do is keep the green wave in the white bit. You can move it up and down using the scroll wheel.
change. But critics have accused him of a severe lack of actual policies and of being deliberately vague. The opposition parties have all conceded defeat to Advance's overwhelming mandate, but have yet to appear publicly.
Okay, that's a new.
Former Home Secretary
Right, it's going well. All you've got to do now is play the advert at the end of the segment. Make sure you don't play it too early or we'll all get fired. Now the clock at the top is counting you down to the advert. When it reaches 0, press one of the 3 play ad buttons over there at the bottom right. I normally play the first one at the first break and so on, but you can play them in any order you want. I'll count you into it as well, but keep your eye on the clock.
to hear the co-leader's acceptance speech.
And 3,
Where?
1, advert.
1 minute back, everybody.
Okay, here.
I need you to fill after the ads.
What? Why?
Wanker Snatch is running late.
Oh,
Personally,
I almost screwed it up already.
I thought that was our little secret. Remember anything.
I'm deeply uncomfortable with your burgeoning friendship. Yeah.
Wicked. We made it to the first ad break. You're doing great, mate. But this is where it starts getting a bit trickier. This next sequence is what we call a multicam sequence, because you're going to be cutting between multiple cameras to keep things
Uh-oh.
interesting. A lot of it's down to personal taste, but here's 3 good rules of thumb. 1. Try and keep the shot on whoever is doing the talking. 2. Don't stay on the same shot for too long. 10 seconds at the most. So if you're on the person who's talking, try and throw in the odd reaction shot or pull out to the wide shot for a bit just to keep it interesting. 3. Don't stay on reaction shots for too long. A couple of seconds is usually enough. Then the audience want to see who's doing the talking, yeah? Stick to these rules and you'll be fine. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You've seen programs on television, haven't you? Make it look like those. Might as well get screen 1 selected now. No need to wait for the broadcast to start. Try and stay ahead, mate.
We're coming back from the break. Quiet in the studio.
Thank you so much.
10 seconds, everybody. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance. But first
Get
off,
ready to go to Megan on screen 4.
Megan Wolf is here with a star of both stage and the screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolfe, culture correspondent. And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare
Right, go to Blunderclatch on screen 3 when she says his name.
by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for
I
coming
went
on.
too fast.
I do hope you believe me when I tell you that being with you here today is among
Switch to 2 for the wide now.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours.
Right, now just try and stay on whoever's talking.
Your latest movie, which is called The Medicated.
The Medicated, yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I said to Peter at the Rat, that's Peter Jensen, the director.
Give us a look at Megan's reaction.
He's a wonderful chap.
Lovely. Now back to Thunder Twat.
Worked with him on several movies, all terribly successful.
Yeah, I'm
I said to
not
Peter,
doing too bad.
what a
I think.
wild ride this has been. What a wild ride this has been. I really meant that.
Wow, that is fantastic. And am I right in saying that the character you play in this movie is quite an academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist.
Was that a challenge at all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a complete departure from my last starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man.
I got
It's a
startled.
true story of one soldier's fight
Been on that shot a bit long.
a love, of course, for freedom. I think it's great.
Get back to who's talking.
Honestly, who's counting?
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best Actor awards, if I remember correctly.
It's so sweet of you to mention it, but I really am not in it for the awards, although those 3 little statues do take pride of place on my mantelpiece.
I still have 3 minutes 30.
I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it for the awards,
This
what is
is
it then that
a
drives you?
long interview.
That is a beautiful question, Megan, and not easy to answer. Like you, I'm afraid. Cut me, and I will bleed. And
Remember the 10-second rule.
doesn't it? Doesn't it? Bleeding,
Get on the speaker, mate.
suffering for one's audience. I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference it makes. I do it for the people that I inspire.
Audience is getting bored, mate.
But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change that I can bring about in the world.
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
Oh, well. Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Indeed. Historic is the word. Well, difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. But, I think I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics, one should always strive to not fuck things up.
Shit, he swore. Oh, well, don't worry, he won't do it again.
Sorry, I said fuck.
Shit, he did it again. Okay, don't panic. I'll explain how to deal with swearing at the break.
Medicated, which opens next week.
Right, they've swapped the shot of Jeremy on screen 1 for a VT of the movie clip. You'll get a countdown on the screen, but I'll just let Megan cue you in.
My character, Dr. Lance Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff. Let's take a look. Exciting stuff.
Oh, looks like Blunderclatch is losing it in the studio, but we ain't got time for that now because there's more interference coming in, and this time it's a bit trickier. When you need to adjust the height or the width of the wave, hold down middle mouse and move the mouse around.
It's not your fault.
You think I don't know that?
No, Lance, we mustn't.
Dr. Lance to you, Miss Flanagan. Did it for you, baby. All for you.
Dr. Hemlock.
You gotta change the world, you know? Go ahead, listen to it.
Dr. Hemlock.
You told me, but I didn't listen.
Doctor.
I'm drowning, Lance, she said.
You need to see this.
No, it's all too late.
This is the hardest part. Oh.
The sterility. This format. This is the key.
Stop it.
Yes!
At the end of the clip, you'll want to play another ad. Remember to use the clock at the top to count you in.
If we should.
I got it. Hit 1, now I got 2.
Right, I guess I better explain how to deal with bleeping out swear words. As you've probably noticed, the broadcast screen, here, is about 2 seconds behind the master screen, here. When someone says a naughty word, the bleep button lights up, like this. 2 seconds later, you'll hear that swear word going out on the broadcast, and you need to hold down the bleep button, or the spacebar on your keyboard, for as long as the swear word lasts. It can take a bit of practice getting used to hearing 2 things at once. Just stay calm, and you'll get it. And if you can't tell when to bleep, just above the button, you'll literally be able to see the sound scrolling by. All you gotta do is hold it down while the red bit is over the red line. Simple. Of course, if you do it by eye, you'll have to take your eye off the screens. That's why real professionals do it by ear. Most people like to have the volume of the broadcast screen a little bit below the master screen. Let's set it now. As you turn it up, you'll hear the advert getting louder. Good. You're set to start censoring. Like I say, it takes a little practice, but I'll try and help you through it, and soon we'll have you bleeping like a pro. Remember, button lights up, count 1, 2, and hold it down.
85 minutes from the coast, and with more than 2 areas of outstanding natural interest.
Hey.
Isn't it time your fan?
Remember to select screen 1 now that you've got the feed. Don't wait for the broadcast to go live. That's too late. You can use the number buttons on your keyboard, 1 to 4.
Running the country. Seriously?
We've had worse. 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. And I'm told we can now go live to Advance Headquarters. I'm told we can now where the 2 leaders, Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury, are about to make their acceptance address.
Cut to the outside broadcast.
Go for it, Pat.
Shall I start? Get ready
Go
to
for it, Pat.
Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for coming. Where do I start? Well, what a day!
They said we couldn't do it.
They certainly did.
They used every dirty, low-down, lying southern bastard trick they had against us. But you, you saw right through their shit.
I'm sorry about the language there.
Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebrations. Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebrations. Coarser than a granny's fanny. Coarser than...
Memories put. But to be honest, who can blame Peter for celebrating? Throughout the campaign, you've heard us say that Advance are not a political party. A party is what you have when things are going well.
It's not that easy bleeping at the same time.
You need a team. A team that can change things. But today is day one of a new future. A better, fairer future. So perhaps we should all be celebrating.
Except for the rich. For them the party's over. They shouldn't be celebrating. They should be putting their shitting pants on and opening their dusty checkbooks.
Again, colourfully put, but not inaccurate. Before we came out here to address the nation, we used our executive powers to pass the Assets and Wealth Act. Working with the tax office, we have produced a definitive list of every person in the country with wealth into the millions.
You know this sort of... Probably you rather you don't. Because the likes of you and me are not welcome in their gated communities.
Tomorrow we will be introducing a sweeping reform of the tax system.
Not that easy.
No more hiding wealth offshore, no more trust funds or creative accounting. A simpler, fairer, unavoidable tax laws.
So all you bastard public school snobs have got nowhere to hide. I've got nowhere today.
Okay, so bastard is a bad word.
You want to leave like you threatened before the election. That's fine. But first, you're going to pay first. You're going to pay it back.
Advance are going to turn this country from a nation of warring individuals into warring individuals, to properly fund health and education, to raise the living standards of us all.
The pundits said we'd have to raise billions, but you You'll see when we've reclaimed what's ours. That's absolute ferret shite. So to you posh twats,
The people who pay you a pittance to serve them drinks in their private clubs, the people whose children you raise.
so they've got time to get even fucked.
Advance have this to say to you. Advance have this to say to you. We are coming for your sports cars and your mansions and your vineyards.
It ends today.
We will put the wealth of this country back where it should have always been. In the hands of the people who created it. In the hands of the people who created it.
Today.
Yes, it ends today. And tomorrow we'll start making it fair again. We'll start making just like we promised we would.
And until then, ladies and gents, I suggest we all get pissed.
I can't argue with that. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time.
Well, interesting acceptance speech there. Interesting acceptance speech and our apologies for the fruity language. And our apologies for the fruity language. Bleeped out for you in time. Hopefully we got that bleeped out for you in time. Someone's going to be in trouble. If not, someone's going to be in trouble. So, as the country braces itself for new government, that's all from us this evening at the National Nightly News. That's all from us this evening. We'll be back tomorrow with full coverage of the first day under advance. I'm Jeremy Dawson. Have a peaceful... I'm Jeremy Dawson.
Right, looks like you've got it now.
Good job on
Thanks
the
for all my help, mate. I've got to go. Ferry's about to leave. Probably won't be coming back. Job's yours, mate.
That's yours.
Well, boring politics then.
This is some weird fever dream, and I'm dying now.
You should be so lucky. I'll see you tomorrow night.
You're not coming for a drink?
No, I've got a date.
Lucky you. Try not to get murdered.
You ended up filleting Satan for the salty crumb.
Challenge room unlocked.
Here, it's happening now, and it's all happening right in front of you. I'm Alan James.
Alan James is one of the country's most controversial columnists and speakers.
And they're going to take your poor sweet grandma, and you're never going to see those
They
scribbling
managed to film.
Look at their faces. Is that what cows look like? You call it the stock market.
Okay, I like this guy.
I don't care if he was once your nephew, Cameron. He's standing in the way of the truth.
Now, Alan James, author of Alan James is Right, is coming to your city.
I'm Alan James, author of Alan James is Right, the gospel according to Alan James, and the Alan James shall set you free. And now I'm bringing my message directly to you with my new nationwide tour, Alan James is Right, in front of you.
Alan James.
I'm Alan James.
Alan James.
Alan James is right.
Alan James.
I'm Alan James.
Coming to a city near
I think his name is
Check
Alan
press
James.
for dates and times.
Okay, I've got D. Sequence E, yeah. First sequence D, C, and E. More info. Yeah, I started very low. Was pretty good. The second sequence, that was the interview. And last segment I was meh, but better than the first. Okay, let's continue. I've received a slight dock to pay. Well, broke to crippling debt. Okay, let's continue. World. Can I click anything? Nope. Continue.
Alright, mate. Welcome to the archive. This is where you can have a quick look back at what you've done and how it looked to the public. There's 3 sections: broadcast, rushes and adverts. Let's start with broadcast. Click on it now. Over on the left, that's all the broadcasts that you've done. Click on any one of them and hit load tape. Once it's finished loading, you can use the rewind and the fast forward at the bottom there to help you get to the bit you want to see.
In a few moments, we'll be going live to tonight's National Nightly News. But before that, let's take a look at what's coming up later on tonight on Channel 1. At 7 o'clock...
Okay, now I want to see the interview.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later...
Culture correspondent, and today I have a guest who
Okay.
starred in everything from Shakespeare to the Shotbot films. I'm very excited to be joined today by none other than
Yeah,
Lawrence
I skipped
Blunderclatch.
too
Thank you
fast.
so much for coming on.
Oh my dear, I do hope you...
Okay.
Click on rushes and let's have a look at those.
Rushes, what are those?
Right, this is the rushes room. It's pretty simple. The 4 screens you can see, they're going to show you the 4 signals you got from the studio during the actual broadcast. Difference is you can mute any combination of them so you can have a listen to the stuff you weren't allowed to show. Select the broadcast and give it a go, and when you're done listening to the backstage secrets, hit back.
Lines, under Clutch interview.
Prawn and mayonnaise?
You know seafood makes me go out in pustules.
Yeah, I thought it might increase our viewing figures.
Every day. You offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody. That's how I show love.
You're trying to kill me.
And yet you persist. Going 5, 4.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Don.
Okay. Oh, hang on. This. They say something while the other one was talking.
Apparently he's been drinking since lunchtime.
Christ, he's a liability at the best of times.
I know. God help whoever has to bleep this. 10 seconds, everybody.
And a lawyer and a TV personality running the country. Seriously?
We've had worse. 5, 4, 3.
Okay. Now. Adverts. Okay, that's the 5. Alan James. I know I used that as the third. I don't remember which one were before that. But hang on there. We are just about ready for our battle. We've got 24 people in with 57 units. Less than a minute to go. We're gonna wait to run this battle and then we can continue with not for broadcast. And let's put down, find some tools to help them out in their own battle. And good luck everyone. So 24 in, 58 units versus 38. And the enemies keeps on coming from those huts. Okay, right side is just about done. Still got 52 enemies. Oh. Nice. Those huts are empty now, so that will be a lot easier. No new enemies. And congrats everyone to Arl, Bobs and Bartolou. Let's go this way. Next one is gonna be the treasure trove. So let's switch back to not for broadcast. Second, to make sure that I am still in sync. Yeah, come on, load. Thank you. Got my info. There you go. So let's continue. Can change the interference sensitivity. And this, and acting as the puppet master is accurate. Oh, I skipped day 2. Arrive home to find post them at most being nothing more than usual drug mail. Well, alright, the team wants to know you. A form from the new advanced government asking for information on all citizens. Name, spouse, children. You got the basic right. For it to complete. They appear to be mandatory. When starting a new job, you would be friendly, introduce yourself to your co-worker, be productive, ease yourself in, and orient yourself with your new friends. It's that government probably wants that, but myself is I try to be friendly. Let's choose this. Colleague in a different department has confided in you that they've been taking on confidential information. Now a file of minor importance has gone missing. Yes, report since confidential. Third department for fired today for consistent underperformance. Your boss has put in place new targets that are significantly higher than previous one. Leave work on time, stay late to ensure you had the first deadline. You work early and to the pub and chat about a trade with colleague. Leave work early and head home to see your family. Leave work on time, stay late. It depends on the job. I did that to help people out. Yeah, sure. Annual company barbecue. If I were enjoying nice day out, friends and family, washing your hair that day, go if you're free but wouldn't mind missing it. I've been practicing with your coworker and think you'll win the talent contest this year. Go if it's free, but I wouldn't mind missing it. About to retire, list your achievement, all good memories, give an honest review of the pros and cons of the company. Focus on issue and challenge faced while working there. Refuse to attend. Knowing me, I'm an old geezer. I would probably give the pros and cons in the company and also include people that I work with. Because I work with great people and awful people. And since I'm about to retire, yep, respect their time, like to relax alone, listening to music, making model, Encourage sports children with their hobbies. Yeah, sure. Relax alone. Ideal holiday getaway would be natural beauty, getting away from the strained daily grind, somewhere unfamiliar, discovering new experience, challenge, structure, day out. No. Romantic getaway. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. Been there, ate at that. Right now, my life probably this. Most important that the government keeps people safe, free, happy, equal. Free. Okay, I'm afraid to click this. Sign your name. Oh, day 6. Day 7, the kids have gone to bed. Just try it. Bring up favorite coffee cup, worn out souvenir. It's faded. And look at the window brings you back to reality. Got in neon green suitcase is Chris, Sam's sibling. Sit at the kitchen table, visibly dressed. Alex, Chris Summer, I need a favor, and you're the only one I can ask. What's going on? You must have seen all this crazy advanced stuff. Assets and wealth ad. They're calling it. Taking people hard-earned money to fund the lazy is bullshit. They don't have money, but they can afford it. We're going to lose everything. Yeah, it's family. They're going to take everything. Alex, everything I spent money building. Can't let that happen. I need a favor. I need to borrow your passport. Yeah, why do I get the feeling I'm not going to like this? They can mine and have the bloody countries, but people always say you and I look similar, so I need to leave before it's too late. Once I'm out, me and my money will be safe, but I need to go now before they freeze my account. I would ask if I had any other choice. No, can't be that serious. Looking right, I've done right by you and Sam. Like they were my own, we're family. Yeah, no, still no. I solved this myself, more from family loyalty. Disappear into the night, make the dishes. The painting face now seems to bore into you. Use the clock to time your ad breaks perfectly. It's loading. That gives me time to redeem here and put that there. Day 8, the Fallout. Oh, I need to move.
So I can get back to my guests. First of all, let's get the power on. You need to get at least the bottom 4 plugs on. Right, let's load up the adverts. You might want to have a bit of a think about it. Your decisions have consequences.
Jus de cochon. Yeah, I'm playing Alan James in the middle. We will play this stay safe. Okay, jus de cochon in French is not that nice, and
Right, you can
it's
see
not
they
good.
finally got the old headline system up and working again, and the Vision Mixer's already in headline mode because headlines always come at the start. It's really simple, mate. These two buttons at the bottom of the Vision Mixer, you can see they now have A and B on them, and they're to help you pick image A on the left bottom screen here, or image B on the right bottom screen here. It's really simple. This little clock here will count down the number of seconds you have to make your decision. Provided you make a decision in that time, you're fine. And you can change your mind as much as you want until the clock reaches zero. But if you don't make any decision, you'll be fired before you even get to make another choice. I just want to say one more thing, mate. The pictures you choose to show of these people, well, that's how the public is going to perceive them, and that's going to affect their lives. So like with the adverts, choose carefully.
No,
And
you
we're
know,
off.
sister's kid.
Good luck, mate. If I get time, I'll call you back in the next break. Yeah, I'm coming, darling.
One of those. My friend Janet says theirs gets really hot.
Is this Janet who thinks dogs have their own secret language?
Yeah, the one that mistrusts the moon. 10 seconds, everybody.
Not the best source of consumer advice, then.
Don't blame me when it explodes. Going in 5,
But before all
4,
that,
3.
it's time to go over to Jeremy Donaldson for tonight's National
Good
Nightly
evening,
News.
I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Destination unknown. At the end of Advance's first full week in office, we ask exactly who's leading this charge. Tonight, I'll be discussing what the new future might hold with a leading economist and radical free thinker. With the Assets and Wealth Act on the brink of raising living standards for the vast majority of the country, I'll be asking my guess if we're on the way to a new future. Out with the old, Remington's Fist have appointed Sophia Remington as their new CEO. The following photo, taken from our archive, gives us a sense of this influential young firebrand who, at the tender age of 23, becomes the youngest female CEO in history. Sophia Remington has always impressed. She was top of her class at university and graduated with the highest honours.
Yeah, I feel like I'm misleading people.
The markets have responded favourably to Sophia's appointment, with stocks rising 30 points in light of the announcement. In her first press conference this afternoon, Sophia announced a children's toy named Mr. Snugglehouse. Sophia promises it will be all the rage this Christmas, but concerns have been raised about the product's safety. Making a splash. Intrepid scientist Dr. David Wong and marine biologist Ingrid Swarsborg and Horgensford have today set off to explore Dante's taint. The recently discovered cave system was previously thought unreachable, but thanks to a new breakthrough in underwater flower technology, the pair hope to successfully reach the imposing central cavern and the undiscovered plant species it contains. This is, of course, only the latest in a series of successful expeditions for this unlikely pairing. In a joint statement about the dangers their team might face, the pair stated, "We will face the plentiful challenges together, like we always have. Playing the field, rumours abound that sporting legend Johnny Hamsleeves is now leaving Bush, one of the capital's hottest clubs.
Not choosing that one.
Being named Sports Personality of the Year last week, as reported by this very programme. Johnny is seen here with socialite and performance artist Tiffany Lamore, whose recent show, Snatched Inside My Snatch, has kept her firmly in the public eye. Could romance be on the cards for these two budding gangsters? And grievous bodily charm. With Advance promising a radical new position on crime, how afraid should we actually be? I'll be going live around the country to talk with people who've seen the criminal justice system from every perspective, with more and more people saying they're scared to walk the streets alone at night. Could this be exactly the right time for Advance's new approach?
I was
All
not
that
sure.
a mega move for the group of young actors already experiencing the positive side of the new Assets and Wealth Act firsthand. They'll be
Oh.
nightly news.
Oh, yeah. What did I do? I did something wrong. Okay, I screwed up. Let's retry. Thought I was doing good at the start, and then that happened. I must have forgotten something.
You'll be fired before you even get to make another choice. I just want to say one more thing, mate. The pictures you choose to show of these people, well, that's how the public is going to perceive them, and that's going to affect their lives. So, like with the adverts, choose carefully.
No,
Good luck, mate. If I get time, I'll call you back in the next break. Yeah, I'm coming, darling.
Get one of those. My friend Janet
Okay,
says gets really hot.
this
Is
is
this Janet who
okay.
thinks dogs
This
have their own
is
secret
okay.
language?
Yeah, the one that mistrusts the moon. 10 seconds, everybody.
Not the best source of consumer advice, then.
Okay, that's
Blame me
the.
when it explodes. Going in 5,
But
4,
before that,
3.
it's time to go over to Jeremy Donaldson for tonight's National
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
Oh, was
Our main headlines tonight. Destination unknown. At the end of Advance's first full week in office, we ask exactly who's leading this charge. Tonight, I'll be discussing what the new future might hold with a leading economist and radical free thinker. With the Assets
try
and
to
Wealth Act on the
choose
brink
the
of raising
same
living standards
picture.
for the vast majority of the country, I'll be asking my guess if we're on the way to a new future. Out with the old, Remington's Fist have appointed Sophia Remington as their new CEO. The following photo, taken from our archive, gives us a sense of this influential young firebrand who, at the tender age of 23, becomes the youngest female CEO in history. Sophia Remington has always impressed. She was top of her class at university and graduated with the highest honours, immediately being asked back to lecture. The markets have responded favourably to Sophia's appointment, with stocks rising 30 points in light of the announcement. In her first press conference this afternoon, Sophia announced a children's toy named Mr. Snugglehouse. Sophia promises it'll be all the rage this Christmas, but concerns have been raised about the product's safety. Making a splash. Intrepid scientist Dr. David Warren and marine biologist Ingrid Swarsborg-Horgensford have today set off to explore Dante's taint. The recently discovered cave system was previously thought unreachable, but thanks to a new
There's a
breakthrough in
picture,
underwater
cake
flower
sales,
technology, the
spring.
pair hope to successfully reach the imposing
Nice
central
calendar.
cavern and
We're
the
in
undiscovered
November.
plant species it contains. This is, of course, only the latest in a series of successful expeditions for this unlikely pairing. In a joint statement about the dangers their team might face, the pair stated, "We will face the plentiful challenges together, like we always have." Playing the field. Rumours abound as sporting legend Johnny Hamsleeves is snapped leaving Bush, one of the capital's hottest clubs. The footballer was caught while out celebrating being named Sports Personality of the Year last week, as reported by this very programme. Johnny is seen here with socialite and performance artiste Tiffany Lamore, whose recent show, Snatched Inside My Snatch, has kept her firmly in the public eye. Could romance be on the cards for these two budding A-listers? And grievous bodily charm. With Advance promising a radical new position on crime, how afraid should we actually be? I'll be going live around the country to talk with people who've seen the criminal justice system from every perspective. With more and more people saying they're scared to walk the streets alone at night, could this be exactly the right time for Advance's new approach? All that and mega more for the group of young actors already experiencing the positive side of the new Assets and Wealth Act firsthand. They'll be talking and performing later. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Why is it going down? I switch to the title screen. and I have no idea why. Okay, let's retry another time. I need to start an ad instead.
You'll be fired before you even get to make another choice. I just want to say one more thing, mate. The pictures you choose to show of these people, well, that's how the public is going to perceive them, and that's going to affect their lives. So, like with the adverts, choose carefully.
No,
And we're
my
off.
sister's
Good luck, mate. If I get time off, I'll call you back in the next break. Yeah, I'm coming, darling.
Get one of those. My friend Janet says theirs gets really hot.
Is this Janet who thinks dogs have their own secret language?
Yeah, the one that mistrusts the moon.
That was okay.
Not the best source of consumer advice then.
Don't blame me when it explodes. Going in 5,
But before all
4,
that,
3.
it's time to go over to Jeremy Donaldson for tonight's National
Good
Nightly
evening,
News.
I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Destination unknown. At the end of Advance's first
Let's
week in
do
office,
the
we ask
opposite
exactly
this time.
who's leading this charge. Tonight, I'll be discussing what the new future might hold with a leading economist and radical
We're
free
gonna
thinker.
do the
With the country's wealth creators in a state of panic and unfavourable rumblings
Fox and
already heard from
CNN
overseas, I'll be asking my guess whether Advance can
We're
deliver on
gonna
even a fraction
go
of their
all
manifesto promises.
in and make
Out with the
people
old.
afraid
Remington
of
Smith have
everything.
appointed Sophia Remington as their new CEO. The following photo, taken from our archive, gives us a sense of this influential young firebrand who, at the tender age of 23, becomes the youngest female CEO in history. Sophia Remington's appointment is a risk for the giant mega corporation. Sophia, as our regular viewers will be aware, has always been a wild child and has been romantically linked to several movie stars and sports personalities. In her first press conference this afternoon, Sophia announced a children's toy named Mr. Snugglehouse. Sophia promises it'll be all the rage this Christmas, but concerns have been raised about the product's safety. Making a splash. Intrepid scientist Dr. David Wood and marine biologist Ingrid Swarsborgen-Horgensford have today set off
Swarsborgen,
Dante's
oh
taint.
crap.
The recently
I'm so
discovered
sorry if
case
it's a real
was previously
name.
thought unreachable, but thanks to a new breakthrough in underwater flood technology, the pair hope to successfully reach the imposing central cavern and the undiscovered plant species it contains. Many were surprised when the two scientists, who've shared a fractious rivalry for many years, decided to undertake this expedition in each other's company. However, the two have released a joint statement in which they opine geniuses don't have to like each other to achieve remarkable results. Playing the field, rumours abound as sporting legend Johnny Hamsleeves is snapped leaving Bush, one of the capital's hottest clubs. The footballer was caught while out celebrating being named Sports Personality of the Year last week, as reported by this very programme. And judging from the angle and velocity of that spray, it looks like Johnny may have been celebrating a little bit too much. I certainly wouldn't want to be his dry cleaner. And Griever's bodily charm. With Advance promising a radical new position on crime, how afraid should we actually be? I'll be going live around the country to talk with people who've seen the criminal justice system from every perspective. With more and more powers passing to the police, and less oversight, are we using an Advance-shaped sledgehammer to crack a nut? All that and mega more for the group of young actors already experiencing the positive side of the new Assets and Wealth Act firsthand. They'll be talking and performing later. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Welcome back, everybody. Can we get guests in quickly, please?
Yeah. Oh. Okay, that was that. I completely missed it. I am done.
In the wake of the government's swift enactment of the Assets and Wealth Act, we're talking about Advance's first week in office and what the new future holds. Joining me are Katie Brightman, a leading economist, and Alan James, author of Alan James is Right, The Free Man's Guide to Waking Up. Alan, the government certainly haven't dragged their heels on delivering some of the legislation they promised. But what does the Wealth Act mean for us?
Nothing, Jeremy. We're still vassal slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
A confident dismissal there. Katie Brightman, do you agree?
I'm afraid I don't, no. I think that Advance have realised that the current economic system of unlimited, unending growth is untenable, so they're changing things up.
There I agree with you. They're moving to the next steps in the Grand Plan.
Grand Plan, Alan?
It's all in my book. Alan James is right, Jeremy. We're to become the great herd. Ignorant, sterile and short-lived. That's what they want.
Or perhaps Advance have just realised that if we carry on the way we are, we will destroy ourselves and this planet in a mad orgy of consumption, if you'll excuse the colourful metaphor.
Yes, orgy is the right word. Only it'll be the overlords having an orgy on our poor broken backs. It's all in my book. Alan James is...
Shamelessly self-promoting? Katie, how do you think the rest of the world will respond to this new approach?
I think they're watching carefully. Advance are the most disruptive threat that the world powers have faced since the last Great War.
Yes, Katie's right. War is inevitable.
Thank you, but that isn't...
And this will not be a war like we've ever seen before. We're talking millions of deaths. We're talking high-tech weapons that can level entire cities. We're talking...
Out of the wrong orifices?
Mock me all you like, Jeremy, but when they murder your parents and they poison your food and they take you away to their camps for hypno-brainwashing, we'll be laughing then.
That might be a great way to sell books, Alan, but you know full well that isn't going to happen in a democracy.
Democracy is dead.
Yes, Advance are radical, and change is always frightening, but the truth is that the Wealth and Assets Act has made more than 90% of the population wealthier and is on target to produce a permanent end to poverty.
Bollocks! What this young lady doesn't understand, Jeremy, is that these are the same people. Maybe they've rebranded, but it's all a little circus act to keep us from seeing the tyrant behind the curtain.
That's where you're wrong, Alan. For a start, they've mobilised the youth vote like we've never seen before.
You say mobilise, I call it grooming. The grooming of an entire generation to walk happily into eternal bondage. They're like psychic paedophiles.
But based on the facts, Katie, what are your predictions?
The Assets and Wealth Act is only the first step. Advance now have a historic budgetary surplus, and as well as properly funding our public services, they're already funneling unprecedented amounts into scientific research and the arts.
Or, as I call them in my book, Frankenscience and opiates.
I like that guy.
See?
Can we get back to the issue at hand, please, Alan?
This is the issue. It's all coming from the water, the chemicals. They're pumping it full of belief juice.
Don't get me wrong. I want to see these changes, but only if they're sustainable. If Advance lose their power after spending half of our GDP on dismantling infrastructure, that could be catastrophic.
The catastrophe is that they're succeeding. They've got us sat here talking about their puppet show.
All right, we're running out of time. Quickly, Alan, what does the future look like to you?
A bleak space where we've all been figuratively sodomized into submission.
No, of course. Katie?
We might be on the eve of a brave new world. God knows we need some change, but we need to be cautious. Let's walk forwards with our eyes open.
Two very different visions of the future there. Alan James, Katie Brightman, thank you for joining me. When we come back, I'll be investigating Law and Order before Megan meets some beneficiaries of the Assets and Wealth Act. That's all coming up tonight on the National Nightly News.
1 minute back.
You know, I think they might do some good.
I hope so too, Jeremy.
How much are you being paid by them then?
Absolutely fucking flying, I tell you. How's it going? Actually, fuck it, I don't care. I hate the fucking news. Oh, bloody hell, I love this tune now. All right,
I
mate, see
do
you later.
love Alan James. Okay, I got E. At least I'm not dead, and we'll have to switch the game soon. We've got 34 people currently in our game.
10 seconds, everybody.
If that sticks, I'll just
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. In our second segment, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the state of law and order in our country. Advance have already tasked what they are calling a solutions team to move this serious social problem to the top of the list. Tonight, we go behind the headlines to meet the people who live with the criminal justice system every day of their lives. First up, we have Gregory Judge, a lawyer who sees the problems close up on the front line. Can you hear me, Gregory?
Yes, I've got you, Jeremy. Thanks for having us.
What's it like on the front line of the hard face of the cold hand of justice?
Well, as you can imagine, Jeremy, we are massively understaffed in this country. We're working every hour we can just to try and cope with the caseloads on our desks.
Which must affect the quality of support you can offer.
Well, we can barely keep up with demand, Jeremy. There just simply isn't enough being done at a systemic level to relieve the problem. We need more support from ministers. What are you doing? We need change at a structural level,
I'm
Jeremy.
leaving, sir.
Time, darling.
It never is it? I'll be at my mother's.
Just hang on. Oh, the problem isn't a local one, Jeremy. It's nationwide. Just give me 5 minutes. I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson.
Oh, have you mentioned your affairs?
No. Well, the affairs of the Justice Department that we should be concerned about.
Hello, Mr. Donaldson.
Hello, Mrs. Jones.
We need legislation to relieve the pressure on our
It
public.
is not easy to do this, and that's
Can I have a
the
moment to tell my husband I'm leaving him?
Yes, I totally understand. Quite the picture of a burdened legal sector there. Gregory Judge, thank you for joining us. Chief Constable Bob Peel, a man with a very different perspective.
Okay,
on our
I'm gonna
nation's crime.
run the battle.
Do you think there's a problem
35
with the
people
system?
in.
I'm sure we all do, Jeremy. I'm sure we all long for a return to the days when you could safely walk the streets of your community at night, looking in through windows and generally enjoying your neighbours without the risk of being terrorised by some thug with a knife.
So you feel the streets simply aren't safe anymore? Where have we gone wrong, Bob?
Well, that's not a simple question, Jeremy, but I think it all comes down to moral decay. We've diluted our culture and lost touch with what it means to be a
Good
citizen
luck
of this once
everyone.
great country.
78 versus 58.
Also, as the vicar noted in Sunday's sermon, we probably shouldn't have banned hanging.
And to what do you attribute this moral decay?
Foreigners, gays and gypsies mainly. It's all in the Bible. Look, Leviticus clearly states that... Oh, bugger, hang on a moment. Jeremy, you bloody gimp escape. Delia, could you give me a little help, please, dear? As I was saying, Jesus didn't like immigrants much, did he?
And just to be clear, you think it's the immigrants who are responsible for the moral decay?
Absolutely, Jeremy. Back in your box, Clive. Back in your box. Delia, I really could use a little help with this.
I'm sorry, darling. I was spaying the badgers.
Yes, I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson. Clive, could you put him back in his box?
Clive, you know it's Wednesday. I'm good. Back in your dim space.
And whose responsibility is it to make a change, Bob?
Well, it is certainly not the responsibility of the decent, good, white people.
Okay.
Oh, hold on just a moment.
Clive, this simply won't do. Naughty boy.
Again.
Mummy, so get back in.
That is weird.
As I was saying, Jeremy, moral decay. Crime is the responsibility of the criminal, no one else. Look, everyone has a sob story, but we don't all end up as barbarians, do we? Look, when our daughter Alice comes home with an A-, does she go on a killing spree? No, she takes 3 of her pills and hides under the stairs like a normal child.
Okay,
Thank you,
so
Bob.
sorry
Bob,
you
we're locking
missed
down the police's
that.
position on morality, folks.
Yes, it is a
I spoke to Mallory at the
sadomaso.
Bridge Club.
Part of the matter. Tony Dawson has recently been released from prison after serving 3 years for aggravated assault.
Okay, it is weird.
He's agreed to talk to us today, which is also, I believe, his birthday. Many happy returns, Tony.
Cheers, Jez. Call me Titwank Tony. Everybody else does.
No, I'm not going to be doing that. Can you tell us what it's like in prison, Tony?
Titwank Tony. Prison's a mixed bag. Structure's quite nice, but it's a constant battle against institutionalisation, as you can imagine. And obviously, titwanks are quite hard to come by.
I'm picking up that you're not alone there, Tony.
Oh, I missed.
Yeah, sorry, my friends are throwing me a surprise party. Good bunch of lads.
Okay, well, we're trying to let you get back to that
I'm
party
really
as soon as
bad
possible.
with the censor
First,
this
let me
time.
ask you this. Do you feel that your time spent in prison helped to rehabilitate you in any way, Tony?
Titwank Tony! I don't think it's as easy as that, Jez. Yeah, I think asking that is an oversimplification.
It sounds like it's getting quite busy there, Tony, but let's try and soldier on. Since leaving custody, have you been able to find a new job?
Yeah, all the boys are here. Big Chris, Little Chris, and Vampire Chris.
This one's, yeah.
1 sec, love. Titwang Tony's on the news. Rehabilitation's difficult with the current system, Jez. It's just not set up for it, you know? It's inherently unjust.
So, do you feel tempted to... I'm sorry, who's this now?
You are joking. Chrissy Free Bollocks has only got Mr. Fancy, oh. Titwang. Not now, fellas, I'm on the news.
It seems like we've caught you at a bad time.
Oh, I can't really hear you, mate. It's getting a bit busy here.
Yes, we seem to be losing the signal here, Tony.
Fucking way, Las Bolitas!
Well, we're just trying to get that signal back. I think we... Yes, Tony? Tony, I mean, we were literally away for 2 seconds. How has this happened, Tony? Can you hear me? Well, we seem to have lost our train of thought there. Hopefully you, the viewer at home, have managed to glean a broader understanding of the serious and complex issues around law and order. After the break, Megan will be live with some lucky young thespians. Don't go away. We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back, everybody.
Okay.
It's been a great night. In this next section, there's a bit of music. If you edit in time with the music, you can see the result on the Vision Mixer, and the public will love that. Don't worry if you don't, though. You won't get punished for it or nothing. Just try and stay in the groove. Also, one last tip. When the music starts, turn down the broadcast volume. Right, enjoy the music bit. God, I love music. God, I'm so pissed. I think I might go and throw up in a bit.
Come on, it's welcome back. How hard can it be?
This is on you. 10 seconds, everybody. We're going to open on Megan. Camera 2. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome's Black. I'm Megan Wolfe, and on tonight's Culture Spot, I'll be chatting with one of the first beneficiaries of the Assets and Wealth Act, a team of inspiring young people from Scritchford Sixth Form College, who today received a grant from Advance to take their play, Hey, Friendship, on a tour of local secondary schools. Welcome to you all. Well, let's start with you two, Harriet and Charlotte Winstanley-Hamilton. Girls, you must be thrilled.
We are, Megan. We're overwhelmed, to be honest.
And I believe you two are sisters, is that right?
Yes, Charlotte's my oldest. I'm the older, more popular one. I'm joking.
Harriet and Trey were really the ones who came up with the whole idea.
So, Harry and I were shooting the breeze in the cafeteria, and I said, hey, let's actually do something.
So I went to look for a drama teacher.
But she'd been laid off due to budget cuts. Fortunately, I directed a pantomime when I was at university, so I knew the
Okay,
ropes.
I suck at
Right,
this.
yes, you're the maths teacher, aren't
Cut.
you?
Yes, that's me, Jeff Algebra, maths teacher.
Maths is really important.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
Maths is really important.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
As is theatre. It's one of the oldest art forms in history. Aristotle believed.
I just think that when we travel around all these problem schools and the poor kids see us, they say, hey, I really want to be like those attractive kids. And that's a very beautiful and powerful thing. We touch our audiences. And
It
they
looks
touch
so
us right back.
uncomfortable.
I suppose with a surname like Algebra, there was really only one choice of career for me. My wife, Angela, and I, we often laugh about it.
Angela Algebra.
Yes.
Angela Algebra.
Yes.
We just want to bring a bit of song and joy into people's
Angela
lives.
Algebra.
Teach people about the difficult issues. The issues in the play are what really matter.
And I think you're going to be showing us an extract from this play, aren't you?
That's right. To put into context, I play a young first year who's having some troubles at school.
Her character doesn't actually have a name, yeah, because in a way she's like all of us.
It's like a metaphor. Maybe she's you at home, or like, maybe she's you, Megan.
Maths is really important.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
Put it in, coach.
Yes, thanks, Steve.
Right, well, I'm going to have a little chat with your teacher while you run off and get ready. I can't wait to see it. That's it, that way.
Oh,
So, Jeff, when did you
Or
first
switch.
hear about the grant?
2 days ago, a letter from Advance arrived at the school. Now, the headmaster thought it was all a prank, but his secretary retrieved it from his bin and brought it to me.
How? How did you react?
I also threw it in the bin.
How did you react?
But then Harriet and Trey rescued it, and they rang the number at the bottom of the page, and next thing you know, we're on tour.
Wow. Well, I think we can all guess which way you'll be voting from now on.
Do you know what? It's funny because Angela and I don't usually vote. We're not very political. I'm a mathematician, of course, and she's a paraplegic mainly. But we did used
She's
to
a
watch that
paraplegic
Peter
mainly.
DIY show back in the day, and so we thought, why not? Let's have a go at this whole democracy thing.
Okay.
And here we bally well are.
Good stuff.
Fucking brilliant!
So, let's have a look at a short section of Hey, Friendship.
Dear Diary, I'm not sure I can take another day at this school. Another day of tears. Another day of fears. But still I walk the corridors alone. Dreading what might be around every corner.
What's around the corner? What's around the corner? What's around the corner?
Oh, hi Gary.
Oh, heavens no! It's Gary the Fist!
Gary the Fist!
Going somewhere, little first year?
Great! I've been looking for some poor victim to bully all morning. But will this make me feel better about my violent father?
Excuse me, I'm late for maths. It's my favourite subject. And so important.
Maths is for losers.
What?
Maths is for losers.
My arm's stuck, coach.
Just keep going, for fuck's sake.
Right, maths is for losers. Now, give me your lunch money.
Double lunch for me today, but why am I only truly happy when I'm eating?
Not today, Gary the Fist. Not today.
What do you mean not today? Who are you? What do you mean not today? My arm's free coat.
Brilliant, keep going.
Right, who are you to stand up to me? I, Gary the Fist. And you're just a sad little girl with two gay dads who's all alone.
That's where you're wrong, Gary the Fist. These are my two new friends. Vanessa is captain of the netball team.
Yeah.
And Blake owns a motorbike.
Yeah.
But I can't fight all three of you. And I don't have any friends of my own.
Okay, that's...
Take a look at me. Take a little look at my face. I could be you. She could be you. And you could be me.
Or you could be me.
Life can be peachy keen if you work as a team.
It's my choice to be mean. So stop now, make a different choice.
Hey, listen up, I won't take no crap.
Okay, now there's rap.
Middle-class girls can't
Okay,
rap.
this
I
game
ain't
is
afraid of your crew.
weird and I like it.
Hey, kids, I'm Gary the Fist. People think that folks like me probably shouldn't exist. But that's just prejudice, and I'd do better if you knew the way that I became Gary the Fist.
Oh.
I grew up on a council estate. The park was hip, but the flats weren't great. My dad used to come home drunk and late, and he'd hit my mum for dinner, he had to wait. Where's my dinner?
It's not ready.
Where's my dinner, woman? Don't make me ask you again.
Hitting women is wrong.
I guess life's pretty hard on a council estate. 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 It's so damn hard on a council estate.
Life can be peachy keen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you work as a team.
Just work as a team.
It's your choice to be me.
It's my choice.
It's
So stop now.
Make a different choice.
Listen to that inner voice.
Friendship!
Well, thankfully that's all we have time for tonight on the National Working News. Join us tomorrow night for all the headlines from across the country. My name's Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful night.
And we're out.
What the literal fuck was that?
I believe that was art.
I believe I've got a 14-inch cock, but it doesn't make it so.
I have a similar belief about an adequate paycheck.
Oh, someone please get these twats out of my studio.
Oh, I got a B on that. Nice. E and B for that last one, but total E. So receive a slight doc to pay. Broadcast for from to crippling debt. Still like this. Oh, got shares are up. Oh, art. Okay, so that was not for broadcast. Weird game. Failed twice because I did not see one thing. My fault again. Like I said, I'm very bad at video games. And if you concentrate on what they're saying, it's so absurd. That singing portion with the dancing, I laughed. And it's the writing is great in that. And that's, oh, give me a second, I need to do this. Here is the link for the game. It is on Steam if you want to read more about it. Not for broadcast. So this is where I will stop. Go back to regular programming. Currently only 22 people are in. So come on, join the battle, everyone. Still got 15 minutes left in this battle, so you've got lots of time to join when your cooldown is over. So this was the game, not for broadcast, available currently on Steam. I thought it would have been more like Papers, Please, but no, it's very different, and it's a nice different also, because I did love Papers, Please, which is one of the reasons why I went with that game. But this is similar, as you have to make decision, but the difference in it is very fun. So thank you everyone.